Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Man, we gonna have a busy weekend this weekend. If you check out my last video, Frozen in Time number 4 with Dean. We love Dean. We doing
Child
number
Dean.
we doing number 5 right now.
Hell yeah.
Man, who we with today, man? Who we with today? Introduce yourself.
SHMOKE11, Smoke Zama, the Strandalorian, the Stackolite, the Pirate Jazz founder.
Man, my boy Smoke. My boy Smoke. Man, how we doing today, man? How we doing?
Excellent. Exuberant. I'm fucking chilling, man. I'm in the process of moving in with my girl, my baby mama, you know what I'm saying? We're about to go crazy.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Now listen, I can't lie. I can't lie. For a while, I was sleeping. I heard Smoke and I was like, I mean, he alright. He alright. But this last year, it's been going up. You and all of Rumble World, shout out Rumble World. Y'all been killing it this year. Now listen, 2024 has been a big year. Been a big year. What's one of your favorite jobs? We saw this earlier. What's one of your favorite jobs you dropped this year?
Memory Calling featuring King Marcel and Peso. My favorite song I've ever put out in my fucking life. I'm letting it breathe, but I ain't dropping until next year.
That's your last one?
That's my most recent release. Yes.
That came out what? 2 weeks ago? Or a week ago? I don't think it was anything longer than that, huh? I'm not tweaking.
It was at the end. It was in October. Actually, it was at the very end of October.
Oh, it was a Halloween weekend. Oh yeah. Man, I can't lie. That one's definitely in my playlist. That one definitely in my playlist. Now,
Thank you, man.
Now listen, was there any? I always want to ask this. Was there any preference on like that creative process when you're like, I'm making this and I'm like, I need Marcel in here. I need Peso on this one. Or is it more of like, because I can't lie, I got ADHD, so half the time my thing, I'd be hopping up out of nowhere and being like, now I got to get him on this because now I'm thinking about this. What was your creative process for all this?
So I can definitely say that the Warhammer AMV was the last thought. That was the song has nothing to do with that shit. But when I made the song, we made the song. I want to say close. Hey, we made me and Marcel. He sent me back the hook, and then I did my verse. Like I had him do the hook, and then I did my verse, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
And we're back. Let me get this back. Everything. Let me get this back in everything. Back in action. You were talking to preface this for the viewers. My monitor sucks, and and I decided to cut completely off. So this is recording number 2. And last thing you were talking about was Marcel, your favorite underground rapper outside of Rumble World.
Yeah, definitely. Since before I got in the Rumble World, Marcel has been one of my favorite underground artists to listen to. Shout out Virginia Beach. Pharrell is from Virginia Beach. Pusha T, Missy Elliott. So there's a lot of pressure coming out of there. Shout out Jamar as well. But also, one of my bigger influences in the past year and a half was Peso Pete. Getting to meet him in North Carolina in 2023. He's fucking thorough as hell. And I love his music. So it was a no-brainer to put 2 of my favorite artists on it. And I added him last after I did my part.
Man, that's one thing I can say about Peso. That one thing he's... whenever those feature spots open up, then they gonna open up. Now I will say, if you see Smoke licking his fingers or eating food, he just made wings. They look nice. I'm not gonna lie, I'm hungry. I ain't ate all day, so we might fight after this one. So now listen, I got 2025. You said you're not dropping the rest of the year. That's cool. I get that. Understandable. Because that song was hot. What's the plans 2025? I know you've been on some albums, collab albums. I know you had that Team Red album that dropped this year. I know you were with Hari on a lot of albums that dropped this year. A lot of music. Hold up.
Before I tell you what I got planned, I want to say I appreciate you for taking note. That's fucking gas.
I do my research. And plus, they is on my playlist right now on Spotify. So that helps out as well.
With Nardwuar in the making.
Yeah.
No, my plans. So Team Red was the only album I put out this year. I had plans to drop 3 albums, just like Hari and Jamar did.
Mm-hmm.
I won't. I'm not. I don't got time for that at this point. There's only a month left. But I do have an album coming with Hari up front, the Smoke Up Front duo tape, which we really haven't talked about much. But that's my fucking brother. He's been up to Pittsburgh twice, and I've been down to Austin once to kick it with him, recording the studios. I love that dude.
He in Austin?
Huh?
He in Austin?
He in Austin.
Yeah. I knew it. I heard his music. It sounded so Texas. I can't even lie.
Yeah. Most of Rumble World was in Texas when I joined, but Studio left the group. He was a big heavy hitter for Texas. All love the Studio. Just want to make that clear. He's the only one that's not in Fumble World. He graduated from Rumble World, man. Because we got people that we take out Rumble World members, but no, Gaza Dawn, Comic God, Hurry Up Front, all Texas, man.
Man, they representing. They're killing
it, bro. They're fucking killing it.
We Texas over here. We H-Town over here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, H-Town over here. We gonna...
I want to say that's where Comic God is at. Could be mistaken.
Man, listen, he holding a special place in my heart because I show love to my city.
Hell
yeah. Now listen. On you talking about your little collab EP, your collab album with Hari. Now, there was a thing that came out a while ago. I think me and you was talking about it about your features and like your verses that you've had, and they get it kind of it's not really nerdcore-ish. It's more of rapping with nerdcore and not nerdcore rapping. Now,
right,
you kind of talked about this a little bit, but I know a lot of people definitely missed that. So if you want to kind of bring that up and then kind of say on that part, because I think we was in agreement on that, because especially on the I think it was the XXL one, Jamar's.
Oh yeah.
That was
shout out Mark Cooper. This was not directed towards him. Shout out Dean. All the people that have reacted to me recently. This was not like a stab at them. And I had some people come at me in the nerdcore scene about it, but I want to make it clear when I've been rapping for 8 years, right? I was 16, turning 17 when I started rapping in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. There's a boisterous underground scene, and I came up as a youngin' opening up for legends and this such and such. And I found out about Krissa SJE through my boy Ace Uzumaki, another Pittsburgh goat. Also a nerdcore goat, if you want to look at it like that. He was anime. It wasn't nerdcore. And I was like, oh, I love anime. I'm going to start incorporating these references into my shit. And then Survey found me and brought me in. I was never putting myself out as a nerdcore cat because I did grow up listening to, 6 Seconds and Damn Bull and shit like that. But it was never the focus. It was additions. And I'm tight with Krista now. He's done a lot for me production-wise. And we might have a tape on the way, too. But,
man, thank God. Fully need more music.
Yeah, man. In fact, Otaku God, Krista SJE, and Ace Uzumaki got me into this shit. And they weren't saying they weren't running around saying they in the nerdcore scene. They was doing anime raps. They was doing normal raps. They was fucking exploring and experimenting. So that's how I joined. And when Survey brought me in, it was kind of like, all right, we in this nerdcore scene, this and that, but we also all artists in our own respect, in our own states, in our own cities. And I brought something. I was the smallest member of the group when I joined, but I brought something different to the table with live performances and local scene work. Yeah. So it's always been a side goal to make sure everyone knows I've been rapping before I was rapping about anime.
Yeah, because that's the one thing I kept seeing, and I agree with your point. I agree with it on that part, because I was seeing a lot of it was there's a lot of artists, especially like the big artists, and like in the UK, Schwabity, Connor, like they were doing their little concerts a little bit. Like it was now and then. Shouto, Mr. MC himself, main character himself, was doing little his performances and everything, but realistically, the only people I was seeing consistently doing concerts was live performances was Rumble World and Otaku Underworld. Mm-hmm. I remember because
I would love to talk about Zawardo, which is the collective of both Underworld and Rumble World, because I had the opportunity in 2023 to go with Underworld as an opener on their tour, which is how I met Rumble World in person. I was already in the group for a year, but that's how I finally met them in person in North Carolina at MPC 2023. Oh my god.
Man, you and Dean both, I was about to bring that up in my next one. Because I remember, who was I talking to? But I remember, I think it was ASAP. They were saying that, like, when they went on tour, and they were going all these out places, which, by the way, they didn't come to Houston. Kind of L move on that part. But I remember they were doing the Zora. They were gonna incorporate some Rumble World when they appeared on that. And that's what I was gonna ask you was, did you have that opportunity? Because I know they're gonna have some people kind of like come in, appear, couple show up a little bit. I know when NPC hit, that was when like everybody kind of got together a little bit.
I can't speak on the rest of Rumble World, but if I'm not mistaken, I was the only one with the opportunity to join them because their first stop of the tour was in Pittsburgh, and I let them stay at my house.
Well, I mean, that's a
Alan, Sleepy Ash, ASAP, Lord Death, Mugen, Afro Samurai, or Afro Samurai was the cameraman.
Yeah.
Callan, of course, was the mastermind. Yeah, and I got to meet Black Diamonds at the Atlanta show. But I was offered the opportunity because I let them stay at my place, and they appreciated that so much that they decided, hey, do you want to come be an opener? Fucking phenomenal opportunity, because at the end, the NPC was the final stop. I got to finally I left their B&B and I went to the Rumble World B&B, and then after that, we were plotting the next Pittsburgh show, which happened in November of the same year. They came. Bro, we had 11 Rumble World members in Pittsburgh in November.
That was when I think Rumble World kind of took that next leap, in my opinion, being on that part. Because, like, yeah, it's that Pittsburgh energy. I'm not gonna lie.
And that circles back to my previous point that I brought something new to Rumble World with the live performances. Nobody had done a lot of shows yet. And once they came to Pittsburgh and opened up that door, I seen Hari and Gaz the Don knocking down so many shows in Texas this year.
Man, I can't lie. I gotta come to. I'm gonna next summer. I'm just saying we gonna be vacation a little bit. So if you see me in the area, because that's definitely on one of my stops was Pittsburgh and Florida. So.
Pittsburgh is awesome, man.
I've heard it's good.
It's a huge underground scene, but Underworld has infiltrated it low key, not just through me, because I did 30 shows this year in Pittsburgh, or 29 shows this year in Pittsburgh, 1 in Austin, Texas, with Gaz the Don and Hari up front. We did our first festival, the Pecan Street Art Festival, May 5th, Luffy birthday, Cinco de Mayo. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I love this shit, man, and Gaz the Don and Hari up front are the two heavy hitter performers besides myself in the group. Obviously, I've done some shows. We had KPN was in the group. He did a bunch. He came to Pittsburgh. He did some shows in Texas. Comic God. In November 2023, the 17th and the 18th, we had 11 Rumble World members at this place called the Forge Urban Winery, where we had our own show with openers, and then we also infiltrated a show as openers. And that circled back to April of this year, when on my birthday, April 11th, we had a show at the Smiling Moose, which is like a bar that's been there for 30 years. We only had 5 members. Damar pulled up. He drove 7 hours in 6 hours. We had Hari up front, who flew with his suitcase in the venue. We had Gaz the Don, Jaren on the beat, and myself and Galaxy. So way less than the November shows last year, but then we had another one the day after, back at that same Forge Urban Winery. So Rumble World has had 4 shows and 2 trips in Pittsburgh.
Jesus. I feel like that's the one that's gonna. I feel like that's what's gonna make it bigger.
I can run sound at venues live, and I'm a promoter in my own right, so it only made sense to bring them in.
And I feel like, personally speaking, as a consumer, as a music person who just loves the music, I feel like that's what makes the artist get bigger and bigger. Just on those live shows and all that, showing that, man, it ain't just audio. It ain't just a video, it ain't just an AMV. It's a whole little thing in itself. So,
oh yeah,
and I know for a fact. Listen, man, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go to Pittsburgh and go watch a baseball game. So for that, I'm definitely gonna pull up on that part. If you have a show out there,
bro, I'll go with you.
Hell yeah. Now listen, we talked about your music, talking about one of your collabs and everything. I know that Peso one probably is one of your favorite ones that you've done, but who is a dream collab that you've had either in this scene that you're seeing just one of those artists and you're just like, yeah, we got to get a song together, or not in this scene, someone that may be like a mainstream artist or even just an underground non-nerdcore artist?
Oh, absolutely. First, I'm not gonna lie, Prince of SJE and Peso P are my white whales to this shit. They are my favorite in this scene and the scene surrounding. I try to get a Fade Bully first, but he's out the way. I'm gonna get it one day. I do like Dizzy 8 a lot. One of my engineers in the city tried to put me onto him, and I was like, I know who this is.
Yeah.
Goss and Jamar got hella songs with him, and he was like, bro, what? But DPS, Dizzy 8, but I've always worked with Chris at SJE and Peso Pete already, so those two are some of my favorites. But for when it comes to non-nerdcore and mainstream, Denzel Curry is my fucking GOAT, man. He's top 3, and he ain't 3.
I feel like that. I've been hearing that one a lot. So Denzel, if you for some reason see this on your internet, on your feed, come on, man, what we doing? Lock in. Lock in on a Smoke feature. Now listen.
Hell yeah.
I know the answer, but I've asked this on every single one, so I have to ask this again. Are you going to go to NPC? If not, are you at least going to show up in the area? Because, like I said, NPC, that's Texas. That's home area. That's all that stuff. I may not be going to the actual show, but I'm going to at least be in the little area. So...
And that's a good point that you say that, being in the area but not going to the show, because this year 2024 Rumble World went there with a B&B linking with other artists, but they didn't go to the show. Shout out It's Austin, Savade, Jaron, Hari, Gods, they all went there this year, but they didn't go to the show. And me personally, I will not be attending next year because I'm about to have a kid in May.
Congratulations.
A lot of change. Thank you. I'm moving and shit, but one of my biggest gripes with NPC 2023 was that they removed Peso after he performed because he was trying to sell his own merch, and I understand that that's bad for their business or whatever, but it doesn't seem like something in my interest. I know Rumble World can make good connections and link. Like when I went there, we went to do our own thing, but Savade went to the cookout and met Peso and a bunch of other artists, and like when we went to the parties and stuff, like I got to meet 954 Mari, I got to meet a bunch of cool people. Mir Blackwell was very nice to me.
Shout out Mir.
Nella, that's the homie. I can't think of him. It was so long ago. It was July 2023 at this point, but I got a lot out of it. It was like a $50 flight home to Pittsburgh. You know what I mean? So I was cool with leaving the world tour and just flying home after that. Like, I loved it. But then they started upping the prices and kept the same artists on, and it was kind of like, oh, I'm not going to put Underworld on? And no, I'm not complaining that they didn't put Rumble World on. I'm complaining they didn't put Underworld on because they had a meet and greet at 2023, this and that. So I feel like it's a little weak at this point, in my opinion. Game Boy Jones is a heavy hitter. DPS is awesome. They're going to keep doing their thing this year, but no, I won't be going next year. I'm sure some of Rumble will be in the area, but especially since it's in Texas.
Yeah.
But nah, I got a lot to worry about.
Listen, man, congratulations on your kid, like I said. All
Thank
that
you.
stuff. And honestly, that makes sense. That makes sense. I kind of agree on that aspect. I've spoken about it. It's kind of pointless. It's I get the good business part. That peso thing was mad lame. I heard about that. That was mad lame. But as a business, I mean, as a business, I get it. But, like, kicking him out is kind of crazy.
Real quick, shout out Peso Pete, because I'm a weirdo. So I'm walking up to everybody at this party like, well, what's your real name? And he's like, Peter. And I'm like, all right. And it took me 20 minutes till he walks over to me and starts talking to me to realize it was Peso Pete. And I already fucked with him at the time musically. So I'm like, me and Comic got talking to Peso Pete like, oh, shit. Because context, I'm a little kid, 2016, 2018, Pokemon Cypher. He's on that bitch. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? You're one of the reasons I started getting nerdy with it. So that's awesome. Peso Pete's a GOAT. He's super thorough. I support him heavy, man. I support him like he's a Rumble World man because he support Rumble World.
Man, and speaking of Pokemon Cypher, we gonna probably drop this sometime before the date comes out. It is coming out the 29th. It's coming out the 29th. We got the Shofu approval on Twitter. It is coming out the 29th. Officially.
That's awesome.
Now, if it's at 11/29/2024, 2025, I don't know yet. But, no, it's coming out in 6 days from when we're recording this on the 23rd. We're going to try and drop this sometime in the next couple days.
That's a big inside joke in the community. Like, damn, we got... You know how people say we got this before GTA 6? Now people are like, we got this before the Pokemon Cypher. Like, Jamar and Hari dropped 3 albums before the Pokemon Cypher.
I feel really bad for Jamar and Hari because...
What? Oh, they dropped the day of Kendrick,
They dropped the day of Kendrick.
Mustard!
I saw this and I said, I'm like, oh God, no. Now listen.
Bro, I told them that. I was like, I'm sorry. And they were like, I'm fucking crapping the album. Hari doesn't care. Hari loves everything. Hari's such a fucking good guy. So is Jamar. Don't get me wrong. His album is sick. That's way different than what I expected.
Black Roses was a good listen to. I love listening to that album.
And Savage just dropped an album too. So Rumble World has 3 albums this month.
And Kendrick Lamar dropped his on the same day. Jesus.
No promo.
No promo. Just straight tweet saying here.
Just unloaded that shit.
Now listen. Have you heard the whole album?
Yeah.
What was your top 3? That's what we have to ask. That's a serious question. Speaking of that.
Ooh.
Because I know TV Off is definitely on a lot of people's top 3.
TV Off. I'm sorry if I don't remember the names correctly. I don't want to go look. I want to remember them. TV Off. Mural.
Whacked Out Murals.
Oh my God. What was track 3?
Luther, I want to say.
Luther. Okay, so I will put Luther, TV Off, Whacked Out Murals.
Man, Kendrick Lamar and SZA, I haven't heard that in a while, and I was very surprised on this because Jesus.
It's kind of like extra love because I fucking hate Drake. I'm sorry to my fans who love Drake. I've never, all my life as a kid, I hated Drake. I never got into it. I always was like, ugh. But when Kendrick started chewing him, I was like, oh my God, let's fucking go. One of my favorite artists is Pharrell, and he had a lot to play in To Pimp a Butterfly, and I don't know, Kendrick's awesome. My fucking mom listened to Kendrick, you know what I mean? It's different.
It's alright, I'm right with you. I'm from Cali, so...
Yeah, man.
I would say, you know my bias on that aspect.
You know what I'm saying? The Oakland show gonna be your last night. Man, I'm about to take these wings up. Bringing you with me, don't worry.
Nah, you good. And we gonna keep these questions coming. Now listen.
Keep going, bro. I love this so far. You're doing a great job mediating and the questions and shit.
I appreciate you. Now listen. You got the Pittsburgh Pirates hat on.
Yeah. Oh shit. Okay.
Now listen. Now I gotta ask.
I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I gotta ask. Is favorite sports teams? And I swear to God, if you just say 3 straight Pittsburgh teams, I'm gonna be kind of boring on this. If it is just straight Pittsburgh, who's your favorite? Who one of your favorite players? Because I feel like you can know my Pittsburgh person.
I'm not a huge sports head. This hat was made by my brother Vin Diesel. It's a 101.
That looks nice.
Excuse my hair, just so they know I'm not bald. I got the whole fucking look. So it's like a diamond tester on the hat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fucking sick. Shout out Vin Diesel. He made jackets for Ski Master, Slump God, Fed the God, Lil Yachty. You should check him out. Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel is. If I can get it correctly, he gonna be in the description on this video, so make sure y'all check him out on that stuff.
Hell yeah, bro, Vin Diesel.
Now listen, I can't lie though. I can't lie though. You is from Pittsburgh, and I show love to Pittsburgh. I still don't like. Your Steelers lost to my Cowboys, and we suck this year, so I'm never gonna.
Bro, Steelers is so fucking hit or miss. But the Pirates usually fucking lose, but they still got heart. The Penguins are fucking crazy, but every game I've been to, they lost. I'm not a huge sports head, and I want to preface, I'm not from Pittsburgh.
Where are you from?
Altoona. I'm from Altoona, Pennsylvania. I moved here in 4th grade. You know, I basically grew up in Pittsburgh, don't get me wrong, but I've never been into the sports like that. I used to like the Jets for some fucking reason, just because my friend's dad was on it. You know what I mean?
For your mental sake, I'm glad you stopped liking the Jets. It ain't been good.
No, they trash. They hell trash. But don't get me wrong, Pittsburgh ain't always good either, so...
Y'all got Paul Skeens and Russell Wilson, so it's fine.
The only sport I ever played was fucking lacrosse, man. And I was a goalie.
I didn't even know they played lacrosse in the U.S.
I mean, I hoop, like, if I have to, but I never did it for a school.
Okay, so you kind of like me on that aspect. I play basketball for fun and shit. I ain't never played on a team, yeah.
I skateboard. I guess that's a sport. Aside from that, no, I never watched. Like, I never got into it. I'll go to a game. Penguin. I will say, out of Penguins, Steelers, and Pirates games, Pirate games are the least fun to attend unless you with a bunch of people. Fact. Steelers games are the medium. But when you hit the Penguins game, sirens everywhere, motherfuckers fighting. Oh, that's the best. That's the best.
Man, I can't lie. I feel you on that one. Man. But listen, you said games, and I brought up my next topic. Do you be playing games? Like, do you be playing games? Do you like PS5, PC? You a gamer? If you are a gamer, are you good?
Rumble World gonna beat my ass for this, but look. I'm the best player in Zawardo, both Underworld and Rumble World. I can detest this at Super Smash Bros. I'm fucking crazy. I'm a Nintendo boy. I ain't have no PlayStation or no Xbox unless I'm playing Mortal Kombat with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I like Warhammer. I be painting the miniatures and that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Smash Bros, Pokemon, Legend of Zelda. Lego Star Wars was my first game ever. I put that
out. You know what? Your respect just went so much up on me because, Lego Star Wars has been on. That was the first ever game I played.
Bro, the first one with the first 3 movies.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Man, that brought back memories.
Nah, I'm a Nintendo motherfucker, man. I had a PlayStation 2 and then a Wii U, Switch. That's where I'm at now.
Now listen. I know you said you're the best in Zawardo, and they probably gonna get on your ass for this.
Oh, hashtag gonna be sick. I said that, but yeah.
But I promise you're not better than me, and that's all I'm gonna say on this.
What's that?
I promise you're not better than me, and that's all I'm gonna say on this part.
We'll have to see. When you come to Pittsburgh, we'll have to see. Bro,
we gonna see, and we gonna get everything cooking on this part. Now,
who you play?
On Smash.
Because this is how I trip everybody up. Who's your main?
So. My main usually is either 2 people. I either fuck around and use... I used to... I don't even know if he's still in that hoe, though. Because last time I played, he wasn't there. Captain Falcon. Captain Falcon. I used him. Or the Wii Fit Trainer.
We Fit Trainer is so fucking underrated, bro. I promise you, that's amazing shit.
I cook with those two. I don't know if Captain Falcon's still in there. It's been a little minute.
He's in there.
Okay,
He's
for
in there.
sure.
There's like 90-something characters in that bitch now. Everyone that's ever been is in there.
Okay, yeah, because it's been a minute since I played because I've been playing. I got a PC and started playing PC games, but we gonna get shit. We gonna get it cooking. We gonna get cooking. Now listen, you said you've been doing music for about 8 years, right? Yeah. Now, I don't know if you hit that unk status yet, but was doing music your day one dream? Was it like, were you planning to do something else, or did something happen just one day and you're just like, all right, maybe I can go far with this shit?
So, 2016, 17 transition year, my girlfriend at this time moved to China for a year just to, I don't fucking care. It don't matter why she did it. She did it. And I had no outlet to link. Like, I just had nothing to do. And I had these friends, Oscar and Genley. Shout out, y'all. Never forget about y'all. They brought a snowball over, and I had Audacity, and we just cooked. And then my dad, who's a drummer and a songwriter, guitar player in punk bands, he bought me my first mic a year later. But I always loved it. At first, it was more of a Denzel Suicide Boys approach. We was chopping, like rapping real fast, this and that. And then my brother Don came around. All these people that I don't really be with anymore, unfortunately, we created a group, FON, Fresh Out Now, Freak of Nature. There was 2 meanings because there was 2 leaders, and that got me into the Pittsburgh scene. You know, we were doing interviews, we were doing shows all the time. We were dropping. The drop-in didn't have much traction, but we had traction because of the shows and the interviews and shit we were doing like this. And I rocked out with that till 2022, man, and that's when Rumble World hit me, and then that's when I started going to different states for my music. But yeah, that was always the dream. I remember being in high school 4 years before 2016, 2017, being in class like, man, how am I gonna get up on this stage like Tyler the Creator? How am I gonna get up on this stage like Denzel Curry, Action Bronson? These people were Sada Baby. These people were giving me huge influence, whether it's subject matter or flow. I always knew this is what I wanted to get into, whether it would be an engineer, a producer, a rapper, a singer, you know. And I was in bands when I was a little kid, playing drums, trying to be like my dad. I never really grasped that. I want to get into bass now, but I always knew music was the move because my dad, he would go on tours with his band Edison at the time, and like I always knew this is where I wanted to be. And I've surpassed him, and he's so proud of me.
Man, see, now I feel like that's the one thing I love seeing is, especially having like, because like my dad's kind of the same way with what I do, like sports wise. Because I was a huge baseball player turned basketball player, and my dad was the same thing with baseball. And he was like, "You got better than me, now go somewhere with it." Unfortunately, life fucking sucks, and I fucked up my elbow. And so now I can't do that no more. That's why I'm doing this. But I love hearing all that part. Now, growing up though, young smoke, way back then, legit. How were you like? Cause were you a problem in school? Were you that little nerdy kid that sat in the back and started doing music, started listening to music the whole time? Because I know you said you didn't play any sports except for like lacrosse, which I'm not counting. I don't care.
Fact, I don't count it either, bro. No doubt.
How was you as a little kid?
As a little kid, I was gamer. You know, I was Nintendo boy. I was fucking with the games. World of Warcraft was a big deal. My stepdad put me on Warcraft, and my dad hit me with the pirated version with the private realms and whatever. It don't matter. World of Warcraft was a big thing. I remember sinking 36 hours into that bitch in one sitting.
Jesus.
And I love that shit. I live and breathe that lore. Lore is a big part of who I am today. Lore in Star Wars, lore in World of Warcraft, anime. I was fucking with this shit heavy. Nobody put me on the anime. I want to put that out there now. I got into anime myself, and I just fucking expounded upon that. Naruto was my first one that I really watched all of. I remember being in like being like 7, watching that shit, and my mom would come in like, "Yo, turn that shit off. You got school," and I'd be like, "All right," but I had the DS. You know what I'm saying? So the covers.
Now pause on that. You said Naruto. Now let's make me next question. ADHD. I don't want to hear it. Best in the big 3. What's your opinion?
One Piece.
What's number 2? This can determine our friendship right here.
One Piece, Naruto, Bleach.
Oh my god. Alrighty. Alright.
But look. I've read all of One Piece and watched all of One Piece. I've watched all of Naruto, and I tried to watch Bleach dozens of times. I'll be falling asleep, man.
Man, you gotta skip the fillers, man. You gotta skip the fillers. But I can't lie. I'm a big fan
of never skipping filler.
Fair enough.
They put that shit out for a reason.
Fair enough, because that's kind of how I was with Naruto. I kept falling asleep during Naruto, because it just got very...
Yeah, sleepy shit in Naruto, man. I can't lie. Naruto, I don't think Naruto's better than Bleach, but I like it more than Bleach. I know Bleach is peak. I know it got some shit. I've seen the new shit. I've seen the old shit. I've tried. I fuck with Kenpachi. You know, I fuck with the shopkeep. I don't know. I gotta get into it still. People be hitting me today, like fucking trapped out dudes that rap in Pittsburgh be hitting me like, bro, you fuck with Bleach? And I'm like, nah. And they're like,
alright.
I gotta get it. I'm gonna make sure me and my kid watch that shit together.
Hell yeah. And if you get to that point and you know exactly what arc I'm talking about and it gets really boring, then go to sleep on that.
I like a lot of other shit though, besides the big 3. I read most of Dun-Dun-Dun. Word to Krissa. I read most of that shit. I love that shit.
Word to Krissa. Krissa put me on that one.
Mm-hmm. He got that shit placed in the HBO show, bro. He's a fucking GOAT. Attack on Titan is a huge one that I finished. I love that shit. I'm trying to think. What are some of my other favorites, manga-wise? Kaiju, number 8. Dun-Dun-Dun, Attack on Titan.
Have you checked out Solo
Sakamoto Days? Sakamoto fucking Days anime is coming in January. That's gonna be crazy.
Now listen, I gotta put people on this one because I feel like it don't get as much love. But have you checked out Solo Leveling?
Oh, Solo Leveling movie coming out this fucking December 13th, man. I'm gonna be there in the theater.
Thank you.
Yeah. Shout out my producer Hefe. He died for that shit. I love Solo Leveling.
Thank you. Solo Leveling. I
got a Solo Leveling song in the works, man. It's already done. I just need better mixing on that. Me and my homie Shozy Hendrix, who's a huge part of who I am today. He doesn't rap as much, but he produced and engineered all my shit from 2020 to 2023.
Now listen, I gotta ask this because you already got it. When you get it, when you're done with it, and it's mixed and everything, you gonna slide me that early link?
Oh, of course.
All right, for sure. Love to hear that. Because I be busy. I can't lie. I hate... I be busy doing shit.
Now, me too, man. So much. I'm in welding school, and I work 40 hours a week, and I do this music shit till I die. You know what I'm saying? So I make time.
Y'all don't understand how hard it was to get a scheduling with this motherfucker on this video. We were talking, going back and forth for times and times again, just trying to get a scheduling. We're like, all right, early as shit on a Saturday. We'll do that at this part.
No, he's right, bro. He hit me with his schedule, and I was like, oh, here's mine. And we were like, what the fuck?
We got lucky. We did this early in the morning. Because we CST over here, so I had to get up around like 10 o'clock just to get everything prepared. And this is Saturday.
It's a Saturday. For me, it's like we start at 1 p.m., but I don't even know when he started.
Yeah, I was in this bitch around 11:20, just trying to get shit cooking, get everything ready on that part. Now,
I got work in like 2 hours, so like, I squeeze this in because I love when someone's inquiring about me. I appreciate the Nardwarism in you, bro.
Now we gonna expand on this a little bit. Now,
let's go.
We going back on this one, and this is gonna be kind of crazy because I'm telling you, I was kind of sleeping for a minute, but I was doing some research and I heard this, and I actually had this on my old Spotify account during the COVID times.
What we talking about? During the COVID time. What we talking about?
Takeover 2, that third song Drug/Limits. I had this on my playlist because of the my boy was in that area, and he showed me that. He's like, "Hey man, I got a song. I'm gonna try and put you on." And I'm thinking,
what?
And listen, I'm young. I was a sophomore in high school dealing with this shit, and I go, "All right, bro, hell yeah, come on, swing that music in." He plays this, and I like it. And then you know when you were a kid and you got these emails and stuff, and you keep changing your email because you keep forgetting your password. And this was on my old stuff, and I was doing research, listening, and everything. Way back when.
Hold on, I gotta stop you. This is the craziest shit I've ever heard. Mm-hmm. You talking about Drug/Limits featuring Joe Rax?
Mm-hmm.
Promise you, Rubber World don't even know about that.
Listen.
Maybe Savannah. What?
Listen. I know people's around. Right? I had a friend. Shout out I forgot his name. Miguel. Shout out my boy Miguel from a way back when he had family in Pittsburgh. And he was able to hear that, and then he was like, "Yo, we were in the middle. I think it was like English class or something like that. It was like one of these like early periods, and I'm tired as hell, and I got an attitude." And he's like, "Hey, yo, listen to this song. I feel like you gonna like it." Plays this song, and I'm hearing it, and I'm like, "Hey, this is tight." I put this on my playlist, put this on my thing, and I found my old phone from way back when. And it was the exact same song on there. And I felt like that was more of a good moment to bring in because, like, it's old. That was old. That was me learning how to drive era.
Holy fuck.
We bringing it back.
That's insane. Takeover 2. Okay, so let me expound upon that. Takeover 2 was my, I guess you would call it my sophomore album. It was like the second big project I put out.
Mm-hmm.
And that was before the nerdcore. That was before the anime rap, all that. Like, I had references here and there, but that was my biggest project to date. And even now, I'm struggling to, I'm finally cracking those types of streams. I lost a lot of fans when I transitioned to the anime shit. I lost a lot of local love. That is crazy. That's the craziest thing anyone's ever said to me in an interview.
Man, because listen, like, I was hearing it, and I'm like, because I was doing my research, because I'm like, I got to get more knowledge in it. Because if y'all don't realize, this motherfucker does not be as active as most other artists on Twitter and all that scene, because he be busy. So I was like, I got to get more research, because I'm like, I got to know more. And I'm hearing it, I'm playing the song, and I'm playing it, and I go, I know this. I've heard this. So that's more of a cool ass moment on this part. But to get back in this is what got me introduced to nerdcore Smoke Sama was the Scarlet Book. Smoke Sama 2. Now listen, I feel like this was more. I think it was It was a song. There you go. I have it pulled up right now. 7-page Muda with Savade Galaxy. That might have been my favorite song, but on that album, what was the whole process of it? What was the whole, like, working on it? Because in my opinion, that's one of the best albums that I've heard on that. Smoke Sama 2, yeah.
The process of Smoke Sama 2 in comparison to Smoke Sama 1. Smoke Sama 1 was me trying to infiltrate the nerdcore scene with Chris's beats.
Mm-hmm.
And Smoke Sama 2 was once I've already been in Rumble World for months, and I was collecting the feature Jamar, Gods, Savade. You know, I had already got these features from them prior, and I was like, okay, let me stamp myself. And Smoke Sama 2 was a huge turning point in my music because that was the first time I had 50 kids in a Discord listening to my album release. That was fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. Shout out like Hypernova. And, you know, all these motherfuckers who would support me since Rumble World told them to. But the process for that was just, let me make a bunch of fucking songs with this group, and let's fucking go crazy. Audie produced a lot of that. My brother Hefe from Pittsburgh, he did a big part. It's like 7 Muda, Stop It, excuse me. stuff like that. The process was definitely focusing more on Nerdcore, Discord, Twitter, because at first I've been more Instagram, local, this and that, but they were directing me where to go with YouTube, AMV, this and that. While I'm not a super big AMV head nowadays, I prefer a music video, but like that was them suggesting what I should do, and that was a huge part. King Marcel, that was the first time I featured him on Wasabi. That album is super special to me to this day. Chibi Genix, I had been working with him for 2 years. I worked with him before I knew Rubber World. Chibi Genix out in I want to say the Philippines. He's a huge artist, not musically but artist. Like he's done a lot of cover arts for some goats. Krissa was how I found out about that. With the Fuck Gabby cover art, you know, and the tape with Faye Bully. Faye Bully and Crystal were my intros to this shit, man. And once I found out about Otaku God, I found out about Pervade, Gazadon, King Marcel. It was a trickle. It was a slow trickle, man. Ace After King was a huge one that I was into before I was in the scene. Yeah, man. The process was not as structured as you may think. It was more like, okay, let me show them what I can do with 11 tracks.
I feel like that was one of those ones that kind of, like you say, kind of cemented your little stature in nerdcore as like, yeah,
yes,
you kind of cemented your stuff on that part because of all that stuff. And that's one thing I was like, looking back and going through, because I want to do my research. I don't want to be here and just ask some random ass questions, because that's how most interviews kind of flop. And so I was doing more research on that part, and I was hearing, and I was like, this is the one. I remember this album personally, because I think this was one of the first albums I ever really listened to and like listened to it. Because a lot of albums, like, I'd be like, I think this one, Shiny World, and I'm trying to remember the other one, Haztick's Golden Fantasia. Those ones were the ones.
I was gonna say Haztick is fucking incredible, and being with him on that tour, I got to kind of get a glimpse at not the artistry, but the mentality that he provides to their group, and it's definitely different than the rest of the members.
Now listen, Haztick, I can't lie, is one of my favorite artists personally. I'm showing all love to Haztick. Is we getting a SHMOKE and Haztick song coming anytime in 2025? If not him, are we getting another Otaku Underworld member song in 2025?
Well, okay, real quick. There is a Haztick SHMOKE song, but it was scrapped by whoever was mixing it or whoever was directing that song. I did a lot of songs with Otaku Underworld on the tour, and I guess none of them made the cut. No hard feelings. You know what it is. You know, they took me on my first tour. They're legendary. They're inspirational. Me and Haztick will work in the future. I have no doubt about that. But when it comes to any Underworld members, duo tape with Krissa, production from ASAP. I mean, I put out some shit with Slick when he was Slick, and I got a sign with Calvin out. But aside from that, I don't know. You know, it's up to us to figure that out.
Hell yeah!
But I guess for me and Chris, I have a lot coming. Whether it's he produced it or me and him are on it. And ASAP produced something I have in the works with Audie and King Marcel on the feature. But aside from that, nothing at the moment.
Hell yeah! Now we get into that second thing. We got the the second to last question. I can't say the actual word for that. I'm not that smart. Any big plans for 2025? Any big plans? You don't have to go into super detail and kind of leave it to a surprise on people. But any big plans we have for 2025?
Smoke up front with Hari up front. Smoke Sama 3 with myself.
Hell yeah.
Lil Candy Paint X Smoke Sama.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Those are the 3 big ones I can think of.
Hell yeah. I guess we gonna be tuned for that every single time. Now, any closing remarks? Any closing remarks on you?
Closing remarks, I absolutely got you. I've been waiting for this. A big issue that I've got, which is probably why you hit me for this interview, is conforming to what the scene wants. Everyone's their own artist in their own way, and I honestly think I would be disappointed in an artist if they conform to what everyone else wanted them to do, as opposed to what they want to do. And that's a big highlight of Rumble World. They've always had my back in my creative decisions through coining the term Rumble World language with Marcel and Audie. Team Red, which is a trio group that divided the group for a little bit, that divided Rumble World for a little bit because of how hard Hurry Up Front, Kamagata, and I fought to distance ourselves through that project. Gazadon and Hurry Up Front are the fucking truth. They are amazing performers. Savade is a masterclass when it comes to authority and writing. Jared on the beat, Audie got clout. King Marcel, Dr. Marmalade are intense producers with their own styles. But when it comes to me, I'm gonna keep doing my own thing. I'm gonna keep striving for difference when it comes to the scene. I'm gonna keep trying to do live shows. Shout out Shozy Hendrix for holding me down 2020 to 2023 mix wise. Smiles, a huge inspiration and producer engineer that I've been working with since January of this year. He's had my mixes on a different level, good mastering, all that. I intend to work more with Rumble World, especially King Marcel and Savade. Jamar Rose is putting so much down for this scene that motherfuckers don't even consider that he's sparking a lot of these beefs. He's sparking a lot of these interactions. He's the one pulling the strings. Audie got intense integrity, amazing creativity. But that's no shade to anyone that's not in the group anymore. Peace King, Suyo, you guys are amazing, and you guys are blossoming without the group. I love the group. The group has saved my life multiple times. Here, let me grab you something real quick. My brother Jimmy illustrated this for our third and fourth shows in Pittsburgh. This is the Rumble. This shit means so much to me. I've always been my own person, but Rumble World has saved my life on multiple occasions. When I lost everything, they were there for me. When I slept in the woods, they were there for me. When I project new ideas, they're there for me. Shout out Natsu Fuji producing our first album, and we have a second one coming soon.
Hell yeah. And like you said in the very start, never conform to never conform to someone else's ideas. Always stand on your own stuff. Stand on business.
Reminding me of that.
Stand on business. Stand on business. Now listen, it's been your boy, Frozo, Smoke. I appreciate you, man. We out. Peace.